Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jonah from Spotlight, and like always, I am thrilled to be here today. And today is going to be an awesome event. We're talking about some very core, real principles about developing your platform, which is confidence and confidence on camera, but also just confidence in general in the process of building it, how you work it all into your platform. And super excited to be talking about this with Debra Alfarone today. Debra, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jonah. So excited to talk to you and
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah. And thank you all for being here. While you're here, if you're either watching live or the replay, hop in the comments, let us know, tell us where you're tuning in from, something you're excited to learn, and also just at any point, let us know about where you are in your journey as a creator or an entrepreneur. If you're well versed in video and just here for a refresher, or if you're struggling with anything, and ask any questions throughout the event. We have plenty of time to dive into any questions you might have. And if you're watching the replay as well, hop in the comments. Let us know your thoughts, your questions, any of your ponderings. We do, believe it or not, come back and look at all those comments and answer them and love to learn more about you. And also, there will be a replay. So if you have to get up away from the computer or anything like that, it'll be sent to you by email. It'll also be here on the Spotlight by Teachable YouTube. And last thing I'm going to call out before we start is we have done some other past events with Debra. So if you want to see more from her on the Spotlight platform, you can go check out, just search her in our videos on the Spotlight by Teachable YouTube channel. And her course and a whole bunch of additional valuable resources are linked in the description, so don't forget to look for those. All that said, Debra,
There
if you
you
could,
go.
there
There
I
you
go.
go. You hit your word quota for the day, my
So
friend.
thank you everyone for joining us. Goodbye. It's been a one. No,
Yeah.
no. So Debra, for anyone who might just be tuning in and doesn't know about you, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure.
And also, I love asking if you could give us a little insight into your journey, where you
Mhm.
were before you started making courses, what kind of spurred that, and where you are today. Kind of
You
that
got it,
timeline.
Jonah. Jonah, you are inviting me to talk about myself, so I will, of course, oblige. No, just kidding. But by the way, that's number
Go for
one
it.
of like interviewing people is people love to talk about themselves. So if you're ever interviewing someone, see, you got a free tip right off the bat.
There.
Ask people about themselves. They love to talk about themselves. That includes me. No, I'm not. I actually sometimes don't. I talk a little bit too much about myself sometimes because people have questions. So here's the deal. I am a career journalist. I have been in front of the camera for more than 15 years, we'll just say. And I have worked at local TV news stations and at network. So right now I work for CBS News. But I've got this incredible life in that I work for CBS News sometimes, and then other times I am running my business. And my business is to coach people to be powerful on camera and in life. And I learned a lot along the way working at NBC, CBS. I never worked at an ABC. I really only worked at NBC, CBS. I worked for News 12 for all of you people in like the tri-state area in New York, that area. Connecticut, DC, New York, and I learned a lot. I sucked really in the beginning, and I was nervous in the beginning. I remember in the beginning doing my stand up. That's the part where you're saying some stuff on camera, and there's a photographer who's filming me, and I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. And I do about 10 to 12 takes. And God bless him, Dave. Dave would be like, "Are you done?" So patient, so kind. And I'd be like, "Yeah, how'd that go?" He goes, "The last one sounded the same as the first one." And I was like, ah. So it took me a long time. All that to say, if you're not confident on camera, guess what? A lot of us aren't. And in fact, some of the people you watch on TV every day, they get the butterflies, they get nervous. So I knew that all along the way. And I was always helping other people in my newsroom. Specifically, when I worked for the local CBS station in Washington, D.C., there would be a line by my desk. My boss had to put, I kid you not, a stanchion. You know what a stanchion is? It's like
Yep.
a red rope
Yep.
outside an event. She put one outside my desk. She was like, "Listen, she needs to work on this story." Nobody asked her any questions because people are always coming to me. "Hey, what do you think of this story? Hey, what do you think of this stand up, this live shot?" So when I left there, And that's another story, which we can get to. We have time. I left there to pursue my own coaching business. And I did coach training. So I went through a really great coach training program. I learned everything, dug into how to make a website, how to make an offer. Teachable was the first thing that came to me. And I went through all the training with Teachable, loved everything, sucked it up, and knew that I knew my, what I was teaching. I knew my subject matter, but I needed to know how to communicate it and put it into a course. So I did that starting in 2018, and it's been off to the races ever since. And along the way, CBS News called me. So now I'm doing this national stuff, which is really like, woo. And you think you're really confident if you're anchoring like I did this weekend for the CBS News streaming network, which is, their digital product. And I'll tell you, I get in my head too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you get in your head and say, why does anyone care about what I have to say? And then what is what I have to say mean to people? And then you start sinking in your chair like, yeah, I do too. And you're not alone. And I'm here to stand for you. Really, all you need is someone to stand for you one more time, stand for your greatness one more time, then you stand for your smallness. And I
Yeah.
learned that along the way. You got to have those good people. So that is me in a nutshell.
So that you touched on some of these, but I was specifically interested, like when you first got into being on camera, or the first time you were on camera, can you pinpoint the like specific challenges or the ones that you felt held you back the most? And I know that confidence in general is an aspect, but are there those like smaller things that make up that, like the lack of confidence when you're just starting out, that you can pinpoint for other people to
Yeah,
look out for in themselves?
absolutely. Your mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we say, oh, it's your mindset. People want to have these specific things. Oh, if you stand like this with your nose to a 45-degree angle of the sun. No, I can't. I can give you specifics. I can give you those specific actionable stand like this, say these words, put your head down like this. Like I can give you that. But it all starts and really is fueled by this. And by the way, if you're here right now, guess what? You took the step. And that's a beautiful thing. The universe will reward you for taking the step and saying, I am good enough to sit here and put my 45 minutes in and listen to Jonah and Debra and be in communication. I think that that's the first step. And I coach people. I have all sorts of stuff, but I coach a lot of TV reporters. And the second they sign up, I say, good for you. You're ahead of the game right now because you invested in yourself. And so I say that to all of you right now. But it really is mindset. And I've got a little exercise that I do to trick my mindset. Because it is like
Yeah.
this thing
Yeah.
is mean, man. This thing
Yeah.
will get you. And it kind of sounds like this. You don't like how you sound. You don't like how you look. Oh no, that's for somebody else. The world needs what you've got. And it doesn't matter how much you weigh. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter how you sound. If you don't like how you sound, if maybe you've got a voice like this. Hey, guess what? I had a voice like that. And I did a lot of voice work. It doesn't matter. There's somebody, even if it's just one person who needs what you've got. So the actual tip here is I've got this, and you sign up for my course. I've got this in it too. And I do this all the time I do this with people on the street. Like people come up to me all the time. I'll be in a ladies' room talking to someone about this. It's my GTFO worksheet. And basically you've got to, number one is to get real with yourself and think about how you're really talking to yourself. Become present to that. I'm no good at this. Who wants to hear from me? That it's becoming present. T is triumphs. And then you list out your triumphs, which actually is a little bit time consuming. Set aside time. You're worth it. Think about all the amazing things that you've done. I mean, okay, Jonah, you're here, so I'm gonna bug you now. Think about all the things you've done. You do this. I know you've got your own company. We've talked a couple times before. Like, think about even just this week, a triumph that you had this week. This week, let's see, what did I do? I anchored I anchored a show on Monday where Dr. Ibram X. Kendi was on, and I got to interview him live. And I didn't screw it up.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got a compliment from our floor director later, and I got to ask some insightful questions that I wanted to know, and I knew would like our audience would want to know. That's my big win for the week. So, Jonah, tell me about a triumph.
I had a great earlier this week. I was making a video for a client, but they wanted me to do it a little more in my style. Uh, and so it was really cool. I went overboard on how much time I put in, but by the end, I was like, "Oh man, I'm proud of this." And I come from a music background where I've developed my voice in music, and am still developing my voice on video. But as far as the editing and everything, I was like, "Oh, this is very much me." And like I was proud of it. So this week I absolutely had a triumph like that.
That is fantastic. And like we need to celebrate these things, right? But what happens is we go, that's great, we move on.
Yeah.
We don't sit in that what we do. And this is just the brain. This is the way the brain works. There's research on this that we go to the bat. And so I remember this fight I had with my husband yesterday, but I'm like, I haven't even posted about this great interview that I did with Dr. Kendi. No, didn't even do it. Kept on moving, but you better believe I sat in the hurt of this like misunderstanding we had. And so we all do this. So you got to trick your mind. Write down your triumphs. There's a couple ways you can do it. So you can either go to the photos on your phone because that's really good. That's like a really good like snapshot of what you've done for the last week or so, and it'll kind of make you it'll jog your memory. You can look at the sent emails in your email inbox. That also is a pretty good snapshot of what you do. Or look at your calendar. I mean, there's so much. Please, I got triumphs on triumphs on triumphs. The fact that I got here, is a triumph. We're all doing things. I had a podcast that posted on Monday that people told me they loved. Like there are triumphs that we all have. So, okay, get real about your labels, what you're really saying about yourself. List out your triumphs and sit in that. Marinate in that. The next is F and O. F is the freedom to choose. What would your new labels be? If only you had the freedom to choose. And by the way, you do, right? I would love 6-figure, 7-figure, no, 8-figure entrepreneur. Like, why not? Like, let's only pick like really amazing, juicy, luscious labels. And then the last one is own it. If I was that 8-figure entrepreneur, how would I show up?
Mm-hmm.
And so that has gotten me from sitting here, and if you're watching this and you've got a course or you're interested, you may think to yourself, I know what she's about to say. Who here does everything for their business? Down to, yeah, right? Like the little emails I send out and that credit card didn't go through. Let me email this person. And let me do this. And you and I are similar in that we have a production background. So of course we're doing our own videos for our business and all of that stuff. Right. But there's also, at a point you're like, why are we sending the $500 an hour person in to do the $10 an hour job? And I'm doing things like I'm going to the post office. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. But just think about if you were that 8-figure entrepreneur, you would probably hire someone and you would empower them to take care of these tasks so that you could free up your time and focus on more big picture items. So I do that all the time. Let me tell you, it is definitely it screws with your mind to sit at that CBS News desk with all the people who sat there before. I mean, I worked with a guy the other day who worked with Walter Cronkite. I kid you not. He's like, yeah, I worked with Walter. I'm like, not Walter, my neighbor down the block, Walter Cronkite. Like, hello, what? And so, I'm sitting in a building that has a lot of history. Who the heck am I? And so I have to think about, well, who am I? I'm this person who helps people to be confident on camera. And if I do that, guess what? Your voice gets heard. And then your voice gets heard by someone who really needs to hear it. And you change their life. And then they feel happy and they go out and they change some other lives. And so you know what? Yeah, I'm not Walter Cronkite, but he ain't me. And so there's only one you. That's the first thing. I mean, I could go on, but really, that's the first work that we have to do. And some people don't want to do the work. They want to know how to stand, sit, and hook up that, microphone. And that's important too. But if you don't start with the mindset, you're lost.
So, you hinted at this a little bit, but as you now clearly have developed systems and everything for teaching this. So this is kind of a two-part question. When did you realize that this skill set you were developing for yourself was something valuable to teach other people? And then the second part is like how has teaching it affected how you're able to internalize it for yourself?
Oh, two good questions, Jonah. Okay. I knew so there's this thing for, I mean, I help people who are reporters, but I help regular like entrepreneurs, authors, doctors, professors, anyone who wants to make a video or wants to be interviewed on camera. So I remember, but a lot of times I was helping reporters in the beginning because that's what I was inside the newsroom.
Right, right.
People would come to me and show me their reel. That's basically like a video resume of your work. And this is the big thing. You got to have a good reel to get a good job. And everybody wants a good job. It's good. You don't have to work in like a small market anymore. You can work in a big market, etc. I realized my reel wasn't done and it was never going to get done because all I did was pour into other people.
Mm.
I remember people like, well, can I see your reel? I'm like, oh, my reel's over there in pieces. I don't have time to edit that. I'm helping you. And I realized we need to charge for this.
Mm.
We need to start charging for this. I have something so valuable that I'm so busy in my off time. This is all that I'm doing. And I can't keep giving this away for free because it devalues it. It really does. You know, and I also struggle with that, right? Because you want to like help people out. But now that I've got a business, I say to people, I would love to help you. And it's not fair to the people who have invested in themselves by working with me. And so I'd love to invite you to become part of my membership.
Yeah.
So that was one. The second part of your question, you're going to love this. Okay. So I went to coach training. And this was also like this kind of thing where I met this woman and she happened to be a coach and had a coach training business, like, hello. And she wanted to be trained, to be on camera. So I'm like, okay, this is just, serendipity. So I started doing coach training and I learned about how to ask questions to elicit responses from people so that I could help them with exactly what they wanted to accomplish. And I was getting really good at it. I was really enjoying it. And so I'm coaching people and I'm not just helping them. I'm no longer a consultant. I'm a coach. So the difference being a consultant, I'm going to tell you what I think. The coach, I'm going to ask you questions so that you come to the conclusion.
Right.
And so I take both of those, my knowledge and my helping you to feel empowered at the end. Talking to this one woman, she's so good at what she does. She works in Baltimore. Excellent anchor, investigative reporter. And I'm telling her, well, you got to call that person. You got to call them. And she's like, but will I be annoying them? I'm like, no, you're really good. In fact, your calling them is going to make their life easier because now they don't have to run around looking for their next great hire. You're there. But you have to call them with the confidence that you know that you're the next great hire. And I think you are. And you just need to feel that you are. She's protesting. And I go, well, don't you want to work there? And she's like, I do. I just feel funny. I just feel like it's the wrong. It's not, I don't know how to do it. So we're working through this and we're done with the call, I hang up. And I realize that earlier, a couple days earlier, my mentor, who is incredible, her nickname is Z. She's known by one letter, okay? But she is that's how cool she is.
That's Yeezy level fame.
Right? If you've ever watched the movie Broadcast News, which is an older movie about news, but really good. Z is Holly Hunter in the movie. It's actually based on her. She's that epic. She's a badass. She was just made the head of CBS News. And I reached out and texted her, oh my God, it's amazing. And I didn't ask for anything. And I was, having my own business and doing my own thing. But I didn't ask her. This is my mentor. This is like someone who really stands for my greatness. And I realized I'm giving out advice and I'm not taking it. And so I poured into myself. And every time I was like, ooh, how am I going to word this? How am I going to ask? I had to really do the GTFO worksheet and think, no, she needs someone on her team who, for lack of a better way of saying it, would take a bullet for her. I'll do anything. You send me anywhere. I'll report on anything. I don't care. I'm never going to complain. I'm going to just go and I'm going to report the hell out of it. So it was giving someone else advice and then going, oh, you dummy. You're sitting here on the sidelines.
Yeah.
You didn't even ask for what you wanted. So, yeah. That was
it's so hard to do that. To take your own. Yeah. I know. I continually find better and new ways to teach my coaching clients and stuff. and then yeah, have to like take a moment to be like, okay, dummy, take your own advice.
All right, dummy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
do
kind of
it. Now you gotta do it.
you and I are the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm like, oh, dummy, you're sitting here not doing anything. So I was like, oh, let me send another text. And that became a whole thing. And by the way, there's a little bit more to that in that even though the head of the news division, like she was it, she sent my stuff over to the talent person who I met with, who then sent me to another talent person. This second person did not get back to me. 3 emails I sent her
Hmm.
and she didn't get back to me. And I had to just, in my head, not let it mean anything and just say, there is what happened. And then there's the story I'm making up about it. And then what
Yep.
happened is she did not reply to my emails. The story I was making up is that I'm no good. She doesn't like me. Insert like bad feeling, here. And I had to just, again, say one more time, I'm going to be in New York. I know you're so busy, but I'm going to be in New York on Tuesday between 9 a.m. and noon. Would you have 10 minutes to meet with me? And lo and behold, she says yes. And so that's, that was history.
Yeah, she just didn't get to your emails, right? That's
Right.
the
But we make it
narrative
mean
we
something.
make up. Yeah, yeah. So I want to dig a little deeper now because I've found in my experience of I didn't really do any video production. I would make silly films or stuff for bands and stuff, but I was not presenting on video until the pandemic and all of that, and I had to rebuild my business. And video was just the quickest way to make good money because a
Yeah.
lot of people won't get on camera. So if you
Yeah.
will, you can do that. But it's been really interesting to see how like the confidence I've had to build to be who I want to be on the camera has dramatically impacted other aspects of my life. Even just if someone asks what I do or what I'm interested in, how I talk about it, I notice is wildly different than 2 years ago. So I'm curious if you've had the same experience and if you can point out some situations outside of your work, outside of video, where that confidence that you've had to build for your work and for making videos has trickled over and you notice it.
Great question. Yeah. So when you're making a video for your business, by the way, like the first one I made versus the last one I made,
Oh, yeah.
there's a big difference, right? The
Yeah.
first one, I mean, it's actually not so bad because I have been doing this for a while, but I'm saying all of these words, like maybe all the words I'm saying, like, is this many words, right? Now I'm like this.
Yep.
I think I would just say a lot of stuff. And I'd also maybe write in a way because I would do a couple different things. I would either just speak off the cuff and then I get the ums and ers, which is fine. It happens. I lose a train of thought like I just did. No, just kidding. But that kind of like pause. Uh,
Yeah.
and then the other thing I would do is I'd script things out. But when you script things out, the act of sitting there and typing period space period space, you're creating sentences that aren't how you speak. And
Right.
I think if anyone took what we just said up until now and typed it all out, they'd be like, "What? These people do not know grammar." Like I mean, just because the way we speak is.
Right.
And maybe I should just say that about myself. You know grammar.
No, no, no. I'm not exactly a specialist.
I think as things moved on, I became more concise.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while to get there. Now I can walk into any room and give an elevator pitch on myself because I know what I do. Hi, I'm Debra. I'm a network TV correspondent, and I used to be a high school dropout. If I can do this, you can do anything. And I help people be powerful on camera in life. And then I can that's if this thing went dead, you know who I am. And I think everybody needs that.
Yeah.
Everybody needs it. I don't care who you are. I remember millions and millions of years ago before I got into TV. I worked in some job on Wall Street that I didn't like very much. Well, how inspiring do you think it was when people asked me what I did? I would say, well, I do this. It was just really uninspiring. And people were like, okay, backing
Right.
away from
Right.
me. You want to be the person in the room, in any room, regardless if you're making videos or whatever it is. You want to be the person in the room that people will go, I got to talk to her or I
Yeah.
got to talk to him because you say who you are. Now they know. and then you're interested in them. They're not sitting there going, what does she do? How many people do you ever meet and you're like, I still don't know what the heck that person does?
I know I've almost become one of those people, and I used to make fun of them because it's like, like content
I can't believe
producer,
it.
I guess. No, as far as like I'm continually struggling to like accurately represent what I do, and it's basically just like, I don't know, what do you need me to do?
Well, that right, because you do so many things, and I do too. And I had to
Yeah,
stop putting everything on my LinkedIn.
right, right.
I'm
The
a media
just slash
trainer.
slash slash
Oh,
slash slash. Yeah,
slash, right? So
yeah,
I have to stop highlighting it. People can only really remember three things.
yeah. Well, that's why I attach to the word like producer because it's essentially a nonsense word. So great.
Yeah, I mean,
Means whatever. Yeah.
there's a way that you can do it. You say who you are. I do this for these people so they get these results.
Right. Right. Right.
Otherwise it's like, because I'm a TV anchor, I'm a reporter, I'm a host, I'm a journalist, I'm a writer, I'm a no, like, even though I know that, people don't need the comprehensive details. Think about being on a date and someone doesn't stop talking the whole time. You're just like, where is the check? Like, I
Right.
think that's the kind of thing when you meet people. I don't want anyone looking for the check,
Right. Right. So, kind of the follow-up question to this, because I've found I've taught in various fields or stuff, but I've found that whether it's direct or indirect, teaching confidence is difficult, um, but it's one of the most rewarding things when it starts working for people.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious if you have any like situations you could share or just what your experience is when you have students who start to like get it
Yeah.
and that transformation, what it's like to witness that as the teacher.
It is the most rewarding thing ever. I mean, I have cards and cards from people who just say to me, not only did you help me be good on camera and get my dream job, but you helped me be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Because the things that I teach, these are life lessons, and that's kind of the next thing that I'm working on is a book of all my life lessons, because all of my clients, many of them are in their 20s, they're TV reporters, they're learning how to adult.
Yeah.
They're learning how to ask for what they want. And you have to have confidence to ask for what you want versus getting into that anxiety of, oh my God, I don't want to, one, like, just got a text before from one of my clients, Karen. She's awesome. She has to ask her boss if her boss will let her out of her contract a little bit early. And she goes, I'm so nervous. I go, good. You're supposed to be nervous. That means you're living, and she's like, okay. But you know what? Everybody's nervous. You're not alone. It's okay. But it really is rewarding. I mean, I have clients who are now working in top markets, and again, I also help, and like many people, this course specifically that we're talking about is for anybody to have confidence. And I have wonderful authors who have gone on national TV.
Hmm.
I mean, they've been on the Today Show and they aced it.
Yeah, that's gotta be so fun.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, yes. And of course, I'm watching. I'm like, I'm filming it. I'm going to send out an Instagram story about it. When I hear that my one client who was nervous ended up getting an agent, ended up writing her book, and then ended up being on the Today Show. And she's not, I mean, that's not, I know, because I'm working on a book. It is not easy. It sounds easy. It's not easy. And then she aced it and they asked her to come back. That is the most rewarding thing in the world, because I know, because she's a psychologist and she's writing a book that's going to help people, that now I have helped her to help all these people. And anyone who's watching, like, you guys are also, you're helping. If you're doing this business, you're helping. And people consume video. That's the thing. You can write anything you want, but you better be on video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of video, come here. Come here, buddy.
Oh, you got a little puppo?
I got a
Hey.
puppo. There he is.
There's the puppo.
Mr. Video right here. This is Murray.
No lack of confidence for Murray.
Zip. This guy's been on every show. He actually has been on a lot of shows.
That's amazing.
Right, bud?
Oh. So I want to get in before we kind of slowly wrap up here. I think there's a trend that I've noticed in myself, or a kind of negative opportunity, where you learn these tricks from mentors or people like your GTFO,
Yeah.
or how you hold yourself, and all of these things that take a long time to really internalize. But in the process, there will be those bad days when you
Yeah.
just need to do something and it's not working. And it's so easy to get into a kind of shame cycle where, like, oh, someone told me this works, but it's not working for me. It's my fault,
Mm.
and I think that's a unique cycle, because when it works, it's great. You see progress over time, and that's one thing. But how do you manage those bad days? Because to me, it's especially difficult when you're capturing your bad days on camera
Yeah.
to then show other people. So do you
Yeah.
just abandon a project on a bad day and come back to it, or do you have a
Yeah.
forgiveness
Yeah.
cycle for yourself?
Well,
How do you work with that?
I end up jamming it through. Like I'm like, no, we're going to do the thing. We're going to do the damn thing. Dang it.
Right,
I
right,
don't
right.
care. And it ain't great. Like the energy
Yeah,
isn't great because I've got negative energy and I just don't think you can fake it.
yeah,
But I also am in two camps about this fake it until you make it business. That's some people say that fake it until you make it. And you can by like, well, I'm going to sit up and maybe I'll feel more strong and strength. No, I don't know. For me, I don't need, I don't want to fake it because guess what? Everybody has that greatness within them.
yeah.
And you have to be as kind to yourself as I am to that dog. Okay. That's it. Like if you saw how I talk
Yeah,
to these dogs, right? It's, oh, hello, baby. Aren't you sweet today? I am so nice to these dogs. Like taking them for a walk, they turn the corner. I'm like, that was a really good turn. Like,
right.
good. So look at that foot in front of the other. Good job. And you know what? But nobody's nice to themselves like that. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure maybe there are some people, but they work at it. We have to be kind and have compassion towards ourselves. And I will jam my videos. They're like, no, we're gonna do this. I will find a way to do this. But I also have a lot of experience in doing this, so I can get that stuff done. You have to be kind to yourself, and the way that I try to be kind is to set myself up for success. It's all the stuff I do before, and so I have to bring excellence. Because remember that last thing, GTFO, always own it. If I am the Beyonce of making videos, I got to get the fan over here so my hair will go like this. Like I've got to, set up. I've got to make sure that I ate something. Okay, because you can't do good work when you're hangry. I got to
yeah,
make sure that I wrote something yesterday so I can then open up my book today, my notebook, and look with fresh eyes.
right.
I cannot half-ass it. Otherwise, it looks it, it feels it. So I have to take all of those steps. And again, eating is really important. I wrote here too. One of the notes I wanted to say is bring excellent, don't half-ass. Seriously, and if that means like even with my business, like, and we're talking about video, but like, come on, anyone that does this, you have a business, you didn't know how to make a website or create a course or upload, like some people do, many people don't. So what I would do is I'm going to learn Google Analytics. That means I put it in my calendar. By the way, my calendar is my life, and I set it up for success. Nothing after 8 p.m. I don't work after 8 p.m. Well, I do, but I try not to.
But it's
But I
not
do.
on the calendar.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. If the day gets too busy and there's not enough white space in there, I'm like, okay, I'm going to need a break. Google Analytics. Okay, Monday for 1 hour from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm going to read everything I can about that. And then I let it go at 10 o'clock versus what I used to do is sit in the rabbit hole until 3 p.m., not get anything done, feel bad about myself. And I still don't know that much, but after the task is done, how many hours do I need to learn this? If I need to write a script that I'm going to then say like, okay, well, how are we going to do that? Okay, well, maybe Monday, 3 to 4 p.m. I'm going to do that. And then Tuesday morning, I'm going to look at it from 9 to 10 a.m. And then we're going to film at 11:30. I have to set myself up to win. That's what they do at CBS. We don't just show up. And when I show up, to do a noon show. Oh no, wait, what was it? I did the 7 a.m. show. Well, we had a call at 4:50 a.m. And you better believe that that producer was there at 3 a.m. We're not just showing up and winging it. There's a lot that goes on. And I do subscribe to, if I want something to be my best work, I have to bring excellence to everything I do. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's good advice. Um, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not my like cooking. I don't bring excellence to that, but my work, I bring excellence. I will
But
I will have cereal, or like I'll throw together a salad and it isn't good. That's not my thing. But this, I bring excellence to.
yeah, or bringing the excellence of trying your best, right? Like
Yeah,
doing your best. Yeah.
it's
'Cause
the
that,
four agreements, right?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If anyone's not familiar with the four agreements, woo, is that a good book? Damn,
Yeah. Go check that.
go check that out.
Oh, well, Deborah, thank you so much for your time today. And I was curious before we wrap up at all. Were there any other just like practical tips or stuff? I know you have the GTFO framework and you have a lot
Yeah,
more in your course, which is linked below. But
yeah.
are there any other just quick tips for people trying to make video that you can give them to get them started and get that train going? Because it is a long journey.
It
But
is a long journey, and everybody's got their thing, right? Mine is my hidden like secret thing that is that I don't remember things well. I
mm,
can speak great off the cuff, but I don't remember the things that I want to hit. So I got a couple of things that I do. Number one, I'll write a script and then I go over it and I'm like, let me change that up a couple of times. I'll go over it twice and make it more conversational. And then I use an app. Um, that has a teleprompter. It's a
yep.
teleprompter app. That is hugely important. And I use that all the time. There's also something called transparent notes. So let's say you're giving a presentation, which is a video. Hey, it's a video. This is a video. And you want to be looking at that camera. You don't want to be like looking here, like, hey, everybody, you want to be looking right there because that's how you make eye contact. It's how you really like connect with people. I will use transparent notes and I have my bullet points right underneath. So you
Mm,
can't really see that my eyes are kind of moving. You just have to set yourself up for success. Um, those are two things that I do that I think it's really huge. Another thing is, okay, I know I work in TV, I make videos, but we're not even talking about audio. Think
yeah.
about when you're watching a video and the audio's bad and it's like crinkling up and I'm talking, you're not hearing anything, you're going to the next video.
Yep.
But we don't place enough emphasis on audio, and audio is everything. Think about the audio. Do you ever listen to a bad podcast?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Woo!
It's yeah.
I have a podcast, and I have this beautiful mic, and I'm going to sit right into it and talk into it because I really want you to hear me. Because otherwise, if I'm over here, you're like, what is she saying?
Yeah.
It's so important. You can listen to good audio and forgive bad video, but not the other way around. You
Yeah.
cannot forgive bad audio. So
Yeah.
people are off your video. Um,
Well,
and
and
then the other thing is,
I always tell people like
you know it.
good audio you will not notice. That's the point. You're just immersed in it and it doesn't
Yes.
distract, but it's hard to get that, like how you get to that point. But yeah, if you notice the audio, something's messed up.
One more thing is, I believe I've got to feel comfortable and like what I'm wearing. You
Yeah.
know, um, I have uncomfortable clothes. I got a lot of them, and I wear them, and I'm like, okay, here I am, like. But if I'm comfortable in something, like this is really comfortable, and it's a color that pops, which is my brand. Like I think that both of our setups are our brand, right?
Yeah.
Like your setup is your brand,
Yeah.
and my setup is my brand. Brand yourself. Don't let circumstances brand you. I think
Mm,
when you feel comfortable, this chair is comfortable. The light isn't too much in my eyes. Like, and I have a light on. I mean, I have a good mic here. Like, I just know that I have to be comfortable. And that means I'm going to have to show up with makeup on. People don't want to put makeup on sometimes. I get that. Believe me, the days I'm not on camera, you wouldn't even know me. But you have to, again, bring excellence, go that extra mile. If you know it makes you feel good, you have to do it. And
yeah.
so you got to feel good. And so part of my feeling good is making sure I worked out today so that I feel like, okay, I got energy for this. I think it's having a balanced life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to internalize.
Oh my God. I don't,
But it
yeah.
also but it also it's one of the things I love about making video part of your platform is it kinda if that's your business, now you're okay, and you have to live a balanced life in order to make good video, then shit, you have to now live a balanced life. There's a lot of things I don't I abandoned about, a less balanced life when this became more of my business because it was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I need to do that in order to show up and do the work I make my living off of now. So,
Oh, I
yeah.
understand. I know. And I've read the book Atomic Habits, and I have my daily habits list over here. And yeah, I'm doing okay with them today. Yesterday was a different day altogether. Yesterday, a lot of things got moved from the to-do list to today.
Yep.
Um, you just gotta, but we really do. I mean, I do my best work when I've had sleep, ate something.
Yeah.
And these seem like very simple tips, but everything in my course is designed to make you feel powerful. And, there's also frameworks, and there's also um, handouts like PDFs and things like that. It's like having me there because I love to coach people through things. Okay, so what is it that you're thinking right now? Oh, you think you can't do it? Oh, you don't like your voice. Okay, well, let me hear your voice. So what's wrong with your voice?
Mm,
So there's nothing wrong with your voice. You just don't. Okay, got it. So
right.
you got to lean into that discomfort about your voice to know that you can help someone. And so if you knew that you could save a life by speaking, wouldn't you speak? You wouldn't hesitate and go, well, but I don't like my voice. Every video has an opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. On that note, I think that's such a wonderful note to wrap up.
Yeah.
Deborah, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today. For everyone watching live or the replay, hop in the comments. Thank Deborah for her time. Go check out her course below.
Yes.
And also, where's the best place for people to find you, learn more about you? Where can people keep up with what you do?
I am on Instagram a lot, and it's at Debra Alfarone. I'm also on TikTok. I'm building that up. That's another
Yep.
whole thing. And by the way, I took a course. I said,
Yep.
oh, this person knows what they're doing. Let me take their course so that I can learn how to create great video. And by the way, like that's a big deal because I have a podcast and I'm working on a book. And let me tell you, you can absolutely get a book deal if you got a lot of TikTok followers. So I
Yep.
am on that. Okay, but please follow me and chat with me. I've got resources, even if you don't buy the course, but you should buy the course because then we'll be friends. You
There
can
you go.
talk to me. You have a direct line to me, so there you go.
There
And I
you
want to
go.
stand for your greatness.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deborah. I appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone, for being here and taking that leap. Like Deborah said, like taking the leap to start your journey and try harder and dig into it and build that confidence, and it will have such an impact on your life. It's yeah.
Just
Hopefully, the
being
two
here.
of us are an example. Yeah.
But just being here,
Yeah.
literally, if
Yeah.
you watch this video, just being here, that tells the universe that you believe in your dream and you believe that your voice is important and you want to learn how to use it confidently. So the universe will reward you for that. Believe me, I'm hoping you feel more confident now than in the beginning. And if you don't, then message me and I'll help you.
Love it. Deborah, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you soon and see you all later.
I think we need a podcast together, Jonah. But anyway.
Hit me up about that. Yeah, we'll keep tuned from the podcast coming from. All right. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, Deborah.
Bye. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
See ya.